I had a girl who in the very beginning bought two pairs of leggings and a classic tee for me. And she bought them and she didn't like the leggings. She's like, I don't like the way they fit on me. I don't really like I'm not a tight bottoms kind of person. I really love the tee and I want to keep the tee, but can I return the leggings? And I said, no problem. You'll have store credit, whatever. Then life got away from me. I started building a team. She sent them to me. The postage was wrong. It got returned. I never saw the leggings. She was like, hey, I sent you back these leggings and they're now returned to me. Like I said, let me send you a return envelope. So I paid for her I paid to have them to ship it to her and then put an envelope in there so that she could ship it back to me so that she wouldn't have to pay the other $3. It was $3. $3 it cost me. And it took a while because I was so busy. And finally, I said, you know what? I know that she loves the classic tee and that's what she's tried and that's what she's loved. So I went over to my rack of classic tees and I pulled her size. I went and found her old invoice and I found out what size she was and I pulled her size and I wrapped it up and I said, I'm so sorry that we've had such shipping problems with this and that we've been going back and forth. But here's a classic tee for your trouble and here's a return envelope for you. And when I got back from convention, there was two pairs of leggings sitting on my desk waiting for me that she had returned. And she had emailed me and said, that small thing that you did for me, that just sticking a shirt in. She's like, when I opened that package and I saw that shirt and that note that said, you know, here, just for your trouble. She's like, I pulled the tags off and I put it on immediately and I am so happy. And it has made me a loyal customer to you. And that was such a small thing for you to do, but it really meant the world to me. So I know that people, you've heard that saying, it's like, you know, to the world, you're just a person, but to one person, you're just the world. Or I'm not good at quoting without actually reading them, but to the world, you're just a person, but to somebody, you could be the world. And you really need to really live by that because you don't know what that person's been through. You don't know how they feel. And if I could give somebody a classic tee, which cost me $14 and $3 shipping, under $20, I've created somebody who has completely changed their idea of the brand, who completely wants to shop with me, who is so unbelievably grateful and so happy, and it cost me nothing. And
well, I mean, it cost me $17, and also that has nothing to do with LuLaRoe at all. And has everything to do with me, who I am, the worth that I have and give, my ethics and morals, and my work ethic here too. That's all me. That has nothing to do with LuLaRoe. And these are, again, legitimate business. Like, my father taught me these things, like the way that you treat people and the way that you treat your customers and being a hairstylist and knowing these things and treating people this way and like making people feel special. That's just part of being a good person. And sure, you can use it in business and sure, people will want to shop with you, but like, that's me. That has nothing to do with LuLaRoe and has nothing to do with the brand. This woman would buy anything from me if I was selling something based on how I treated her. It has nothing to do with LuLaRoe. And I'm happy that I changed her idea of the brand or whatever. But like, again, that's hashtag because of Roberta.
So really leading by example. And I heard this all weekend. We don't sell clothes, we sell confidence.
Blah.
I hear from people all the time that nothing ever fit me. I went to Target, I went to Nordstrom's, I spent hundreds of dollars, I spent $10. Nothing would ever fit me and I never felt beautiful. And then I tried LuLaRoe and I got myself back. I felt beautiful again. I felt wonderful again. I felt lovely again. I felt amazing again. We don't sell clothes. The clothes sell themselves.
Do they though? Do they though, past Roberta? Because you've got a rack and a bookcase behind you filled with clothes that sell themselves. Just, what are they on? They got the day off or something? What's going on? What's happening here? But again, this stuff doesn't work in a scam. It just doesn't.
We sell confidence. We sell joy and love and happiness, and we spread body positivity. And
I didn't even know about the Tijuana skinnies at this time, and I didn't know about the DN prefers you to be a size medium or smaller at this time. and I had not yet gone on the cruise and been recommended things at this time. So yeah, to anybody who's outside looking in, just like me, I see it, I go, oh my God, they sell size up to size 3X. There's no body positive inclusive, but they're not. I lived through it. I watched it. I was a part of it. They're not. They're just not.
We create clothes that beautify women, not objectify women.
I do think LuLaRoe objectifies women, but not in the way that I'm claiming in this. LuLaRoe definitely doesn't objectify women in that way, which is just another jab at like modesty and purity culture, unfortunately. But also like wear whatever the fuck you want. Again, this is a you thing, not a LuLaRoe thing. And people trying LuLaRoe and getting confidence is great. I'm sure that has a little bit to do with the dopamine of being in this LuLaRoe group and the cult and the love bombing. I'm sure that's a huge part of it. But also like the confidence that you found wearing LuLaRoe, you would have found that wearing other things if you had a group of people that were cheering you on and going, oh my God, try on that one. Oh, that's so cute. Like, it's your own cheering section. Like, who wouldn't like things more if they had a cheering section behind them being like, yeah, we support you, like constantly. So I don't know.
And so no, we'll never make a tank top, and we're never going to make a low cut dress, and we'll never make a mini skirt.
Except they have a tank top now, and they have all these things. You know why? Because modesty stopped being cool. Modesty and exploiting stay-at-home moms and Mormon women stopped working because you have 3 documentaries about how you're a fucking pyramid scheme and you scam people. So, yeah. Hello? I mean, are we for real right now?
And if you want to hike your Cassie up and do a high-waisted or pull it up high and wear a t-shirt over it so that you can have a mini skirt, then that's your thing to do, and that's fine. But we'll never make a micro mini, and we'll never make a club dress, and we'll never make anything backless, because even though we're not going out there and saying we're a modest clothing company, that's what we are. And so it's very, very important when you are wearing LuLaRoe and respecting and representing the brand of LuLaRoe, that you respect the integrity of our brand.
Okay, that is some loaded horse ass bullshit right there. Sorry, I apologize for ever saying that. That is ridiculous. It is so culty. I'm like, and this goes on, like, this happened, and that's why I'm talking about it, because it actually happened and I watched it happen, and I'm going to tell you a little story. We're going to go to full screen for this. I'm going to tell you a little story about something that happened at LuLaRoe when I was in LuLaRoe. It was convention 2016 that I am doing the Q&A on right now. And it was hot. It was very hot. There were people fainting like outside in the heat. They gave us those weird, creepy DN fans. It was wild. They had like an ice cream truck come by and like give free ice cream. Like, it was insane. It was so hot. So, everything's polyester. It doesn't breathe. It's horrible. It's not the greatest thing to wear in the 95 plus degree heat in Southern California in July, which is not our hottest month, but it's almost our hottest month. And so people are, you pack for like the whole week leading up to this LuLaRoe stupid thing. The whole week, like, what are you wearing? I don't want to wear the same thing. Like, if you wear that and I wear that and this, and there's themed nights and there's costumes and there's all kinds of stuff. So you're packing for like a week. It's like, it's LuLaRoe. You have to show up. Like, you have to have the best stuff. It's a cult. Like, that's what you do. And people have their outfits planned, right? But they did not plan for the heat, and it is hot. So they're altering their outfits to the point where they're like, well, I'm going to wear the Cassie skirt, which is the pencil skirt. I'm going to wear it as a tube top. That's a LuLaRoe no-no. Or I'm going to wear the maxi skirt, which is a long, flowy skirt. I'm going to wear that as a tube dress. And they would pull it up. Or the Azure, which is a shorter version, pull that up and wear it as a tube dress. And so your shoulders are bare, which is not modest in terms of the Mormon faith and what they deem modest, at least how LuLaRoe deemed it. We can't do that. Also, things need to go to like just above the knee, is like about as short as possible. So like the Cassie skirt, their pencil skirt that people wear as a tube top, that's a pencil skirt. It goes to the knee, but people were pulling it up and wearing it high-waisted and folding it or rolling it so that it was like a micro mini because it's less hot. Or they're wearing a tank top and they're pairing it and they're wearing a skirt high-waisted with a tank top. And they're doing these things and it's like, well, that's not LuLaRoe. You shouldn't be wearing it. Or you're not respecting the brand because you're wearing it in such an immodest way, right? But nobody knew this until they brought up the styling sisters, which were all the sisters, all the daughters and the daughters-in-law of Deanne and Mark. And they come up on stage and they have this Instagram account where like everybody would take the same piece and they'd style it different to show how versatile LuLaRoe was. Because the styling sisters, everybody's different. Right? So we've got the styling sisters and they're all up on stage and they have just done this thing and we're back for like the second session and the styling sisters were in the first session and they're talking about all the different ways that you can wear LuLaRoe. And Jill, who is the wife of Kenny, who is in LuLaRich, Kenny, she is the one tasked to give this speech. I could tell how uncomfortable she was because I really liked Jill. Jill was really cool and really nice. So Jill steps forward and she's talking about this and she's talking about how it's so great to see everybody here in LuLaRoe. We're so happy to have you and blah, blah, blah. But you're wearing the clothes incorrectly. Colty, you're wearing them immodestly. Colty. And even though we're not a modest clothing company, we were a modest clothing company. Everything was long enough to cover the Mormon garments or magic underwear, if you will. People, you might know it as that, but they are the garments that you wear underneath your clothes, even underneath your underwear. They are the garments that touch your skin and they are blessed and holy and it protects you. If you need more information, check out the episode on my podcast with Ryan McKnight because we do like a whole Mormon garments thing. And he breaks it down. Yeah. But so I just thought it was really uncomfortable. And I thought maybe that Jill felt not so great about that. And she basically had to say, you're not supposed to wear it the way you're wearing it. And she's looking at, and everybody in the audience, it was like everybody had just come back from lunch and it was like session and everybody's in there like looking around. We really don't want you to wear it to the events not as intended. You can wear it at your home not as intended, but if you're representing LuLaRoe, you need to respect the brand. And you look around and like you're watching people's faces fall because they're looking down and going, she's talking about me. And it was really... two things happened. One, it was really sad because you could see it happen. But in a cult and in a hierarchy, second, you're so happy it's not you. And then I probably made a comment and I remember something like, well, you know, you're not supposed to wear it like that. Like, you know, I'm some sort of horrible thing, I'm sure. Anyway, back to the main show here.
Portray women as beautiful creatures and not objects. There was a whole thing with
LuLaRoe treats people like dollar signs.
Who is the wife, the husband. She's the husband. She is the wife of Kenny, who is our...
Okay, so you just heard me tell it as the truth, right? I had no idea I'm going to tell the story, but here I'm going... This is the LuLaRoe spin I'm going to assume. And I feel so bad already.
VP of sales, and he is on all of our Tuesday morning calls. We went to a styling class with the styling sisters. I'm sure you've seen them on LuLaRoe. If you follow LuLaRoe, it's all the sisters and they wear the same piece and they all style it completely differently. So you can see all the different ways that you can wear one piece and style it different ways. And it's amazing. And they did that.
It's not that amazing.
And then Jill got up and she wanted to talk about confidence and integrity within LuLaRoe, which I think is insanely important. And I hope all of you are listening right now.
So culty. You guys get ready.
That when we are wearing LuLaRoe in public and when we are taking pictures of ourselves and when we are posting it on our page and selling things, that we respect the integrity of the clothing and the brand. I know it's super fun and I do it too.
So ballsy.
To wear an azure as a beach cover up, or to pull an Irma down and tie it underneath and wear that as like a tube dress. And it's super cute and it's totally something that you can do with that piece. But when we're selling it and when we're representing it, the company really wants us to show
the cult
that piece in the way that it was intended to be. You can also say, hey, you can wear it this way and you can wear it this way, but they don't want us posting pictures of ourselves and being like, look at how you can wear this. I'm wearing it this way. It's just important that we respect the brand's integrity.
That's ironic, considering that you literally hired people to pick out the dead rats from the Gaylords of leggings that you stored outside. And then called me crazy when I was like, hey, these leggings smell like dead rats. And I was right on the nose. But, you know, let's talk about the brand's integrity a little bit more. God damn, fuck you, LuLaRoe.
And we're trying to portray women as dignified and classy and respectful. And
no,
so
you're not.
That's what LuLaRoe wants us to do.
Oh, it's such a cult.
I heard it twice, so I think it's really important.
See?
And there were people there, and it's not to make anybody feel embarrassed.
Just in case the first group didn't hear it.
You're sitting in your house right now wearing a maxi as a tube dress or as a maxi skirt as a dress, like, it's fine. But we really want to portray the shirts as shirts and the skirts as skirts and the dresses as dresses and the leggings as leggings. And there are so many ways that you can dress things up and change things without changing the integrity of the piece. So that's very, very important that you do. And to remember that when you're merchandising, that what you put on your body will sell more than what you put on the rack or what you put on a mannequin. So if you are selling joys, you just got joys in and you're taking all the pictures of all your joys, you also want to be showing pictures of you wearing joys and wear them and show yourself wearing them.
And be a good little cult member and wear LuLaRoe head to toe. And if anybody asks, tell them how great it is and how it's not a pyramid scheme at all. Definitely not, because those are illegal.
And wear more than one piece. If you're wearing a Julia, don't just wear Julia. Elizabeth's in here and she's really good at wearing more than one piece. She was wearing Julia as like a long tunic with leggings underneath. And I think she had an Irma over it and was wearing the Julia as kind of like a skirt almost.
That's like so much. She's wearing a dress with leggings underneath and a shirt on top. I mean, I'm sure she was adorable. Elizabeth always dressed so adorable. But that's a lot. That's a lot of pieces to be wearing in Southern California.
It's really important, and it's amazing.
It's not that important.
We had an activity where people came up and they had racks of clothes to pick from and they got to dress mannequins, and nobody just put a Julia and said, there you go, I'm done. They were taking joys and they were adding joys. They were wearing tying Irmas over Julias. They were flipping around classics and wearing them backwards and tying knots in the back. They were taking perfects and pulling them tight and tying big knots in the back. Super cute. So there's so many ways that you can have the versatility.
It's like LuLaRoe was like the transformer of clothing. Like, all you needed was like a couple rubber bands, a handful of change, and like some dexterity. to tie just a couple basic nautical knots, like nothing. Nothing like a regular Cub Scout wouldn't know.
Of these clothes without disrespecting the integrity of them, which I think is very, very important, because we ain't no hoochie girls, okay? We are respectful, we are stylish.
I'm sorry, I apologize for saying that's horrible.
Classy and dignified, and that's how we want to portray our brand. When
you know what? Long live the hoochie girls. Long live the hoochie girls. And you know what? LuLaRoe's not for them. It's just not. And that's okay. That's absolutely 100% totally okay. And you know what? LuLaRoe's not for me either. So, it is wild to me that I just parrot what comes out of Mark and Deanne's like anti-feminist bullshit, the secret language of femininity crap, patriarchal bullshit. Like, it's wild because I don't believe any of what I just said at all. But like in a LuLaRoe mindset, it just flows like wine. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell did I just say? Mind blowing. Cold. Like, it's July. So April, May, June, July, like 4 months, plus the 3 or 4 months leading up to it where I was buying and joining groups and talking to the people that would eventually become my upline and getting indoctrinated there as well. So I'm sort of, maybe we'll say 8 months indoctrinated into LuLaRoe. And I say that bullshit. I apologize. Let's see what other horrible things I'll say.
We're wearing it. If you're at home sitting by the pool, or you're at the beach and you want to wear an Irma as a beach cover up, or an oversized perfect, or whatever, then more power to you. But when you're representing the brand, we need to make sure that we're representing it in a positive light.
Positive, right? Positive. So like, wearing what you want is not positive. Only wearing modest clothing, LuLaRoe clothing, is positive. Everything else, it's just like, it's just wild to me, you know. And I don't even remember this, but you know, I talk about how I go through Megan's book and I'm still processing a lot of the emotions and the feelings that I had while I was in MLM. And even when I talk to victims on the podcast and like hear other people's stories, it triggers me and I go, oh my God, I remember that. I completely forgot that happened, because you just shut it out. They're not core MLM memories for me. This is definitely not a core MLM memory. That talk with Jill was, so I told the story here. Like, I remember that. That's a core LuLaRoe memory for me. But this rhetoric that I'm parroting back to the people that trusted me to go to the convention and get what they need, and I'm coming back with this like anti-woman, anti-feminist bullshit. Like, moving on.
Some styling tips and tricks that
tips and tricks.
Mixing and matching patterns is amazing. Mixing patterns, even if they're geometric, 2 different geometrics, as long as the colors are complementary to each other, like, go for it. Polka dot.
Okay, this is where we get into a lot of bad fashion advice. And I'm going to say this right now because I say this and there's a lot of stuff I'm leaving out, as opposed to like the prints and the fabric and the colors and the style and like even the size of the geometric print, and like making sure that those are still complementary. Like, this is not me giving people carte blanche to be like, wear squares and circles, it looks great together. Like, there are specific things, and you can look in high fashion where this does happen. But again, LuLaRoe is a scam and a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme and not high fashion at all. So this advice is going to be super cringy, and take what you will, what you want. I pattern mix a little bit. But I think that there was a little bit of pattern mixing. Like this advice came back from convention and people are like, look, they said it's fine to mix them even if they don't match, as long as one of the colors is fine. Like that is not what I'm saying here. And I have to just preemptively say this, because I will say that our team was not one of those teams that had the wild, crazy pattern mixing, but I have seen it. We have seen it. It's out there. There's a lot of it. You're welcome. Let's hear what I have to say.
Dots and florals and stripes with florals are really, really, really popular. Large geometric prints with small geometric prints. Large florals with small florals. Monochromatic color blocking, especially for those who are having trouble selling solids, to post pictures of yourself wearing a color blocking with a solid top, a solid skirt, solid leggings, solid joy, like solid, and color block is a really great way to encourage people to buy solids and say, hey, look, it looks amazing when you pair these colors that are so complementary to each other, and color block with them. There's a really great website called Color Lovers, COLOUR Lovers, color with a U. And it's just a palette website where people create these amazingly beautiful complementary color palettes. So if you are one of those people that have a hard time
still around.
looking at
I
your
used
rack
that
and
a
going, well,
lot
which colors go with which,
back in the day.
those type of palette websites, even Pinterest will have them. They're great tools for you to start looking at colors in different ways and going, oh, that mustard looks really great with blue, or, you know. So
again, I'm giving advanced fashion advice to people who like don't know that you can get this for cheaper at Target. So I feel like I'm setting people up right now for utter failure. Like Roberta said, large and small geometric print is fine. And it's like, okay, well, this is not what I meant when I said that. Right? I'm sorry. That's all I have to say.
Doing that is really great. Also, I wrote down that I need a denim vest, and Holly also wrote it down at the same time.
Oh yeah, I got one. And you know what? Do you know what that denim vest did for me? It made me look like Lieutenant Dan. Anyway,
it was really funny. They paired some denim vests. I saw people wearing two joys. I saw people wearing joys underneath vests, so just the bottom of the joy popped out. I saw people tying it. See, I tie mine in little knots like this, but I saw people coming crisscrossing, tying it behind them, crisscrossing up around the neck.
Ridiculous.
Just amazing. So the versatility of those products are fantastic, and it's, you know, as long as you're creative, you can do anything.
You know what else? Some of those joys that came, especially the black one, the dye was never set properly, and it stained everything. Like, it stained people's nails, it stained people's purses, it stained people's skin, and then transferred to their like toilet seats and things like that. I had a red Cassie, which is the pencil skirt, and I wore it on a hot day. We went to Disneyland. It dyed my ass. Yeah. And then when I went to bed that night, it transferred to the sheets. We had like white sheet, not white, but like cream. And I had a big pink Roberta shaped spot on my sheets from the dye that transferred from the LuLaRoe to my skin to my sheets. quality control, y'all.
As long as you're keeping the integrity.
But let's talk about the integrity a little bit more.
What else? What else?
How about how it's a pyramid scheme? Can we talk about that?
I don't know. I think I hit all the questions. Oh, so when you're doing online sales,
I will say though here, I am focusing on sales. I'm not really focusing on recruiting. I'm not focusing on being like, these are all the ways to get people into your group, to get them to join. I don't even think I've mentioned recruiting yet. And if I did, it was a very casual thing. Like, oh, if they join your team, I never, again, like there was not a high emphasis on recruiting. Let's continue.
Like I said, lead with your why, be personable, be present in your group when you're having online sales. Take pictures of what you're doing too. You can take a picture and be like, look at these 8 boxes we just got today. This is going to be crazy. We're going to have a sale tomorrow night. We're going to, we're going to do this. I'm going to work all night and do this for you. Be personable. Show people what you're doing. Get them engaged in what you're doing. Show them that if you can do it, like they can do it too. That's a really great way to also build team, is to be personable and to be real. Because everybody out there is going, I don't know if I can do this. Like, she's so put together. She's got lipstick on all the time and her outfits are so cute. Show them that you're a normal person too, and that your kid's screaming in the background right now, and that you are...
Abby, right on cue. Thank you so much. Saved by the Scream. So here's the first mention of recruiting, right? And it is to be a real person, which I think is not as predatory as any other recruiting advice that I could give somebody. If you're trying to get people to join your team in a natural, organic way, being yourself is a very natural and organic way to have people approach you and to approach people. Again, it's about being real. It's about offering the opportunity that you are personally experiencing. I didn't think it was a scam at this point. And again, everything that I'm saying is a legitimate thing for a legitimate small business, which this is not. But I'm still in that mindset. And even this entire recap has been an emphasis, for me at least, an emphasis on sales. And we just now got to the recruiting aspect. I hope I don't say anything horrible.
See what I mean? So show them you're a real person and that real people can do this. And it's not just for those who are put together, have red lipstick on and mascara on, and you can do this and be a normal person.
Isn't that strange though? It's like the messaging a couple minutes before that was like so very anti-feminist about being like, be very modest and don't be a hoochie coochie. And then now I'm like, you don't have to wear lipstick. Like, you don't have to pretend to be somebody you're not. You don't have to fake it until you make it. I know that's what Deanne tells us to do. And even saying that lipstick thing is like a nod to Deanne, because Deanne always said that. And that bothers me. Make sure you're wearing lipstick. And I'm like, why? It doesn't matter. And like, it's just weird. Like, it's just weird that I'm saying one thing and then saying something that's basically the complete opposite in terms of just feminism and the patriarchy and things like, it's wild. It's wild.
Always share the culture. Always share
the culture was bullshit.
Positivity and the amazingness and the wonderful blessings that this company has given you.
But that's all fake.
My biggest personal takeaway was to really just like, I'm all in. Like, I'm all in. This company is amazing.
No.
And for me to get to where I want to be now, like, I need to be all in and make this my full thing.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
At the end of this month is my very last day in the salon in LA. I don't know if any of you guys know that I travel out of town once a month, but I put in my notice and I was like, I'm done. So I won't be traveling for hair anymore. And that is a huge relief for me, and it allows me to be all in.
I will say that LuLaRoe did help me do that. I had been traveling back and forth for over 10 years. living outside of Los Angeles and working inside of Los Angeles. I was traveling by air when I lived in Atlanta and traveling by car when I lived in San Diego. And for over 10 years, I traveled back and forth every single month to LA to work. And it was very taxing, not only on my car, but on my mental health. And then when I had a relationship, and then when I had my children, I missed out on a lot of things. And that was one of the reasons I joined LuLaRoe, because I thought, man, if I could have something that I could stay at home, I could not have to travel. I could eliminate Los Angeles. If I could make this much a month, it could replace this. And that's what happened, was being able, when I started getting those bonus checks, they were higher than what I was making in a weekend in LA. And I thought to myself, I got to quit. And that was one of the main reasons. So I thank LuLaRoe for that. And like, even after LuLaRoe, I was able to shift and adjust and like not have to go back to LA, even though I did go back to the salon. But that is one thing. And that's interesting. That's interesting that I quit Los Angeles 4 months in. That's fast. It didn't seem like it was that fast, but wow, that was really fast. I could imagine my clients, because they did seem shocked. And I could imagine maybe not being so shocked if I had been doing it for a year, but 4 months is pretty quick.
It's really important that you know that what you put in is what you get out. So if you are only doing this 10 hours a week and you're like, how come I don't have a giant team, and how come I'm not wildly successful, and I want to be a mentor and I want to do this, then you need to look and go, you know what, I need to put more than 10 hours into it. But if all you need is an extra $1,000 a month and 10 hours a week works for you, then that's great.
Well, at least I'm being realistic and saying that not everybody has to have a big team and not everybody has to like do this. I still hate that I'm a total HunBot right now, but anyway.
I heard stories of women who were like, I only wanted an extra $500 a month, and they're mentors now in the company. They're traveling with Deanne. They are hanging out at her house, having family barbecues, invited to these things, and they are in it.
Yeah. And I'm using their story to get people to join our team. Like, everybody's using that story. There's not like 100 people that are doing that. That's one person. That's the same person everybody's telling that story of. So it seems like it's so achievable, but that's the 0.01%. Like, not everybody's hanging out with Deanne in her backyard and her pool and doing all of these things. Those are the tops of the pyramids, and possibly not even in the company anymore because, pyramid scheme.
And they eat, sleep, and breathe LuLaRoe.
It's true.
So for me,
it's a
like,
cult.
I was just so inspired to want to make these personal changes to be where I want to be. And so August it's like, it starts. Like, it is all LuLaRoe all the time. Like, I am putting it in and I am doing it, and it is going to be
1 year from being all in for me to be like, fuck this.
Like, being a leader for you guys, being able to be here, to do these live questions and answers, to do trainings. I'd like to sit and have like personal one-on-one time with you guys, whether you want to call me or you want just like an instant messenger. Just being present, I think, is really important.
I'm like hitting all the MLM buzzwords. Be present. You just want to be present, you guys. If you're present and you just work hard and you just like put in what you want to put into it, like, you will get out what you presently are being present to put in.
I was insanely inspired. Like, I wish that I could have
because it's a dopamine fueled troll party.
Here you go. It's amazing. Some of the most amazing speakers. I can't even tell you how many times I cried. The stories we heard. The
emotional manipulation.
Just the success, and sitting there in the audience, and myself going, next year I'm going to be teaching this class. Like, next year I'm going to be up there. Next year I'm going to be walking across that stage and getting my coach necklace. Next year.
Like the dopamine that was coursing through my veins when I made all those goals. I hit none of those goals. I was very close to coach, but I never got it. Never walked the stage. Never got to speak at convention. Spoke other places, but not convention. So none of the goals that I set in 2016 actually came true in 2017.
By this time next year, that's what I'm going to do. So
nope. You didn't though, babe. You didn't.
Just, to me, it's all about being completely as present as possible. Deanne talks about it all the time, about being present, about your business is your business and your family is your family, and be present in your business and then be present in your family at the end of the day when your business is done. And so that's really kind of like what I'm trying to do.
But it was impossible to do.
And trying to accomplish with my business. Another thing that they said about when you're having sales, don't post and dash, which is when you post everything and you're like, I'm going to go get an ice cream cone now. See you guys in 5 hours. Be there, because even if you are going to go get an ice cream cone, there's a reason you have one of these things.
Oh. You can work from anywhere, boss babe, as long as you have one of these things. Oh my God, I have one of those things. That's so crazy.
See all these messages right now? Look at this.
Ridiculous.
You're there, you're present, you're able to pick up that phone and respond. Yes, that's stretchy. No, that runs small. I would suggest a large. I would suggest a small. If you're this size, maybe this. And answer those.
So many of those questions, like, I'm so triggered right now, even thinking about the amount of messages that I would have to answer on the weekend following a Friday night sale.
People, because if you were to walk into the Gap and go, hi, do you have, like, how does this fit people? And you were to be like, let me check on that, and then never ever come back. After a while, they're going to go, I'm just going to go to the other Gap at the other mall, or I'm going to go to Old Navy, or I'm going to go somewhere else. So be
Why
present.
am I using the Gap
present.
as an example?
These people are counting on you to answer their questions.
Hello,
don't post and dash.
millennial.
Provide close-ups if they need it. Make the customer feel good about what they're buying. Talk to them if they have. I know it can be annoying when someone's like, is it stretchy, but is it stretchy like this, or is it stretchy like that, or is it more cottony? Because they don't know, and they're not there to pick it up and to put it on and to feel it. It is stretchy. It is it's more cottony, but it's sort of stretchy, or it's very stretchy, or it's slinky, or it's very silky, or it's lightweight. Like, you need to be able to describe that to them and help them, because I see things all the time where people are like, I'm not paying $35 for a shirt I can't try on. But if you can be there for them and you can make the experience as if they were really trying it on, then they're going to buy it, and they're going to be appreciative to you, and they're going to say, oh my gosh, that Irma, I tried it on and it was exactly as you described it. It was stretchy but lightweight but also cottony feeling, and it's perfect, and it's my new favorite shirt. And then you're going to go, oh my gosh, I helped someone. It made me feel really good. And you're going to want to do it again. So
it's that integrity we talk about that just, doesn't have a place in a scam.
Always prompt your customers. Ask them questions about themselves. Ask them if they say sold pending question, say, what can I help you with? Prompt them. Try to help them in any way that you possibly can. Interact with them, talk to them, care about them, send them messages. A lot of times when people send me their email, I will message them personally, and I will say, hey, okay, so you got a lot of stuff, so I just wanted to make sure you got the black Irma. You're gonna love that. Oh my gosh, I have a black Irma, and it's like my go-to, and this is perfect. I also have a pair of leggings that matches that you got perfectly, and you can take a picture and have that personal shopping customer service, because people will go, oh my gosh, that does match perfectly. Go ahead and throw that in too. Or you can say, you know what? These match perfectly. I'm just going to throw them in for you because you bought so many things, and create that personal experience for them and make them feel really, really amazing about everything that you're doing for them. It's all about customer service.
And people ask me, how were you so successful in MLM? Well, because I have integrity, and it works until it doesn't. It worked for a while with integrity. Until it didn't. It took about a year.
So if you're asking why you don't have shoppers or why you can't get people to buy things, like, think about what you're doing and about what you can change to be better, to provide something, a service for somebody that maybe someone else isn't providing, so that they want to shop with you. Really good apps to use while I have you: Boomerang, this is for Instagram, Boomerang, Pick Tap Go, Layout, VSCO, PixArt. Those were ones that everybody was talking about. Facebook Live. If you're going to go live, organization is key. Teamwork is very important. If you want to do live sales, have your husband or your mom or your daughter or your best friend or your teammate come over and help you, and then you can do the same for them when they want to go live. But having someone man the computer during the sale, or be like writing down email addresses or whatever it is really good. Prepare your inventory, your tags, your Google Sheet, your Google form, whatever, before the sale.
All good tips.
And also that when you're on Periscope and you're on Facebook Live, to be entertaining, because it's like TV, and if you're watching something boring, you're going to change the channel. So be entertaining. I know this isn't super entertaining. This is like totally just,
I apologize,
information. Sometimes sales don't happen during the broadcast and customers will message after. So let them know, I'm going to keep this up for 24 hours. You can still buy for 24 hours. Let them know that they can claim additional items, and just try to really be relatable. I think being relatable is very, very important. You don't want to be like, I feel like I can't really relate to the Kardashians, and I don't like them. I don't watch their show. I don't buy their stuff. I don't follow them on social media or anything like that, because they're not relatable to me. So be the type of person that you would want to follow. Be the type of leader you would want to follow. Be the type of salesperson that you would want to follow. Be the type of person that you would want to follow. And you'll see that change. You'll see people go, oh, she's really relatable. She's got 2 kids just like me. She's got a husband that's deployed in Afghanistan just like I do. She's,
I mean, these are all legit things,
just like I am. Share. Don't be negative, but you can share things like, I overcame depression. I overcame an eating disorder. Things like that. Like, make it personal. And
okay. I hate that I just was like, totally use something that is difficult and use it to manipulate people. But also, it wasn't like that, right? And that's, again, is I think people look at Huns and go, why would you do that? And we're trying to be relatable. We're trying to create community. We don't understand that those sort of things where you're trying to connect with people, especially those of us that are neurodivergent, and there's a lot of neurodivergent people in the MLM space. So especially those of us that are just trying to connect with people and being like, I went through that too. Like, it's fine to use that to connect with people, but it's not okay to use that to recruit or sell to people or to see them as that. So I understand the community and the connection aspect, but we want to stay away from the predatory nature of like going after somebody because of things like that. Past Roberta, you have learned so much in 5 years.
And be relatable so that people can relate to you. And always, always, always share your why. And always, always, always be positive and helpful.
And that's the other thing. Like, I do also want to say, because I didn't touch on the positive comment that I mentioned. When I say to be positive, right? When I say to be positive, and then I say, but it's okay to say these things, because I don't want people, again, I'm going to give myself a point here, is I don't want people to think that having depression or going through things, and I also hate that I use the word overcome, because we all know that that's not really a thing. Even like letting them know to be positive, but that doesn't exclude talking about hard things. Do you guys know what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm happy that I'm not being like toxically positive in this moment, and saying, yes, like share the good things, but it's also okay to share the real things. I like that. And I like that I wasn't super toxically positive, because I hate toxic positivity. Again, it goes with being relatable and being real and connecting with people and having community. And so, yeah, I mean, it's cringy, but it's also, there is something to take out of that as well. And I'm glad that I wasn't being a toxic, positive HunBot in that moment.
I have so much other stuff like to share. Like I took so many notes. So we can do another one later. We can talk about booking pop-ups and fundraisers and pop-up parties and all of that on a different one.
Yeah,
we can even talk about Les Brown, who was amazing, to inspire you. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hop on my group page and we're going to do a live sale. So I'm going to get going.
All that time manipulation.
If you have any more questions, send them to me. Send me a PM. Just shoot them out there. And I'll do another one of these maybe this week, or even maybe Mondays will just be my day that I do this. And I'll get those questions answered as quickly as possible. Other than that, I love you guys. You're amazing. You're the reason that I made trainer, and I'll get my watch soon. And if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be where I am. So I'm very, very thankful and grateful for you. And thank you for watching. And know that
at least I understand that the pyramid is helping.
I'm not a mean person that's like, why is that person messaging me again? Don't ever feel like you're, I get a lot of like, sorry to bother you, but you're not bothering me. The better you do, the better I do. It's everything. So I want you to be successful.
The pyramid works better when we're all successful.
If you need my help, let me know. I try very hard to be as available as possible, but do know that I have kids and a husband and a job that I'm slowly quitting. So I'll be as available as I possibly can. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the replay. And again, if you have any questions, just message me. I'm here. You can come over and talk to me in person. We can go out to dinner. We can go get a glass of wine and do happy hour. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. I want you to feel successful, and I don't ever want you to feel like you're drowning and that nobody is there to help you.
I hate that I've said some cringy things. And I'm not as cringy as they could have been. And I'm also very happy that like I'm saying this, because it makes me feel better, because I look back and I go, I don't really feel like I was a super duper HunBot, and I don't feel like I was predatory, and I didn't do a lot of the tactics that you see people do. And this just reiterates my feelings that like I really did think this was a genuine thing, and I really did try to help people and try to be there for them and try to help them be successful as well, because I really did believe in this company, and I didn't understand how pyramid schemes worked.
You're not alone. You have a whole team of us. You have the Roses as well. And I don't want you to ever feel like you're alone, or that you're failing or drowning and you can't do it. So if you have any problems or any questions, or you just want to tell me how cute I am, you can message me and say that too. And I will talk to you guys soon. Okay. I hope I helped. I hope I shared some good info. I will do this again. I have more stuff to share, and I don't know what else to say other than I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Man. So some thoughts on HunBot me. One, I felt like I supported my team very well. And in terms of HunBot, I was not a MegaHun at all. And I felt like I was very personable, and I gave good advice, legit advice, not really great for a pyramid scheme, but great for a business. Good social media advice. That's all still advice that I would give somebody asking me today about how to grow a social media account, how to grow a community, how to grow a YouTube channel, an Instagram page, a TikTok account, like all of it. It's all the same advice that I would give people now. It's the same advice that I follow. Treat people like they're people, treat people like they're special to you. And not to treat people like dollar signs, which is probably why MLM chewed me up and spit me out and was like, ha ha, loser. Like, you thought you could fix this and it's a scam and duh. And it's why I see myself in so many of the creators that are out there who are like, I just wanted to be better. I just wanted to help. I just wanted to, improve on something. I wanted to use my success to help other people have success. It's the same story over and over and over again. And that's from 2016. And I was all in, and I still had a year to go before I would figure it out. So like, the mindset is there. It's part of it. This is all part of it. This just shows that it's just yet another cog in the machine. And so, as cringy as that was, and as problematic as some of the things that I said 5 years ago were, I'm happy to know that for the things that I agree with, I'm still there, and the things that I was like, ugh, about, I've changed, and I don't actually believe that, and I don't say that, and that's not something that I think is true in my life anymore. So, that's the toxic MLM that was there, and the toxic positivity, the toxic masculinity, the toxic patriarchy, like all of that stuff that's in there, it was part of it. And you see that. And those are not things that I would ever say today or preach or justify at all. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. And if you have any of your old videos, you don't have to be a YouTube creator. You don't have to react to these things, but I implore you, as some homework, go find an old video of you talking to your team, or an old video of you having a sale, or even just talking to potential customers about the new business you're starting, and see who you are and what you say and how different that is and how different that looks from the person you are today, and how you would present that information as well. And it's interesting, and it's eye-opening, and it's a little cringy, and it's hard to stomach, but it's for educational purposes, right? And that's the most important part here, is that we are educating and we are teaching people and leading by example. I hate to say it, but there's a lot of silver lining takeaway in this episode and that video that I reacted to that I still use to this day and that I still believe. And I'm also happy to know that MLM didn't change me too much as a person. Like, I still see myself in there, even though I am slightly misinformed and I am believing a lot of the things that I have proven to not be true. It is still interesting to see that there is some good left in me. I hope you enjoyed this one. This is a little bit of a longer one, so I hope you enjoyed this. Leave your thoughts and comments below. I love to engage with you guys in the community. Obviously, you just learned all my tips and tricks and secrets. So please leave those below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you are following us and checking us out on Instagram, TikTok, all the social media channels. I try to be there and as present as possible. And other than that, make sure you are, doing all the YouTube things at the end of the show. I don't know what they say, but follow if you want to support the show. You can support us on our Buy Us a Coffee. All of the ways to support the podcast are in the show notes. Again, thank you for being here with me on my journey. I love this journey for us, and we're just moving right along. And I will see you next time. All right.